How's everyone doing there? I am Todd Kenrick. I have been interviewing the Critical Role cast for the last 9 years on D&D Beyond on YouTube. I have covered the Mighty Nine. I've been covering the animated series even before that on my own personal YouTube channel. And this is my YouTube channel where I cover all things D&D, tabletop, Daggerheart, and all that stuff, and Critical Role, of course, which I am a huge fan of, and I'm really excited for all this. I'm checking on my audio and increasing it a little bit. Sometimes buttons get pressed in between. So I hope everyone can hear me fine. I hope everyone's having a fantastic week. I am super excited to join this to join the Seekers table. Yeah, spoiler alerts, everybody. I'm on the Seekers table. I'm excited to see the Seekers table. If my voice is uncharacteristically deep, fun fact: my voice is, by its nature, right about this deep all the time. I had to pitch up because of my career, because they did not like, when I first started my career in film and television, people to have voices that were too deep, especially with video game content where you would have to talk incredibly fast. So very deep today. I have a cold. I was very worried that I wouldn't be able to do this stream today, but I decided to soldier on, even though we're not covering the soldiers anymore. But I'm seekering it on. I don't know. I'm doing my best over here, okay? So I hope everyone's having a great day. Really excited for the stream today. Really excited to see what the Seekers table is up to. And I'm curious of how the table is going to be different from what we've seen with the Soldiers table. Soldiers table had combat, and Thimble mostly doing some of the heavy damage and all of that. I'm really excited for the Seekers table and to see kind of the bigger lore discoveries, which we got plenty of, by the way, from the Soldiers table. I'm very curious about what we're going to find out in the Seekers table, and I think that's going to come down to the nature of magic and how that's been affected by the absence of the gods. I think we're going to delve even deeper into the importance of belief and magic and curses and how that affects the narrative. As we've seen repeatedly, belief is super important to this world, and I feel like the Soldiers table has been a nice kind of pre-show for some serious Brennan Mulligan lore drops that will be really impressive, really enticing. We'll learn more about possibly what those artifacts are and how they link to the realm of the dead. We'll learn about why the realm of the dead is brimming over and the membrane between the realm of the dead is becoming thinner and thinner and thinner with the quote-unquote real world. Maybe we'll get even more Feywild drops, though I suspect they're going to want to keep some of that Feywild content for Thimble to interact with, because Thimble's such a good gateway into that world. And then figure out how the gods died and how that's affected magic. I think all of these and more may show up in this episode and the first 10 episodes with the Seekers table. Now, there were a couple of clarifications which I thought were funny that we've had to deal with this week, one of which is Brennan Mulligan and the cooldown. And by the way, this is the cooldown, so there aren't massive spoilers supposed to be happening in the cooldown. This is called media literacy, and sometimes people in the media conflate things in a headline for clicks, or maybe they legit didn't understand what was going on. But Brennan Mulligan kind of mentions that, you know, the sword, the knife that Tyranny has, it kind of works in the same way as a vestige of divergence, only it's not associated with the gods. He's just drawing an example and a parallel to how this blade that Tyranny has is going to evolve and become more powerful over time. We see this in D&D, AD&D. We've seen it since second edition, where a magical item will become more powerful with whoever is wielding it over time. He was only referencing the vestiges of divergence just as an example of how it will power up, not that there was a interconnection to Exandria in any way, shape, or form. The headline kind of got blown up on like I think character sheet, comicbook.com, and stuff like that. And no shade to them at all. It was just a misunderstanding about reading what Brennan Mulligan actually said. He was just drawing a comparison between how the magical item would work. He would not drop a lore drop or a hey, guess what? This whole world's connected to Exandria in a cooldown episode or so nonchalantly. And this is what we talk about when I mention media literacy. I think you and I all probably consume an insane amount of media, and we certainly consume a lot of Critical Role media. So there are things that you pick up on that even I won't pick up on, and I've been covering Critical Role for like 9 years now. You are watching the episodes every single day along with me. You may have read the books. You may have read Tusk Glove. I actually own Tusk Glove. I haven't gotten to reading it yet. So, and not for lack of trying. I have a weirdly busy life for not having a job. Yes, he literally said in another world. So, yeah, it was. I agree with you, Zamru. I felt like we were pretty clear about this topic. This is not a vestige of divergence. This is not Exandria. These are not the same gods. This is not connected. Bidet, everybody. Bidet. I'm so excited. Hey, we got 76 people in chat already, and it's 4:33. Now, I'm a little gravelier in my voice today. We're going to get through it, and I'm even going to consider doing some voice training to get my voice back to its normal bassy level, which is a little bit around here. It's a bad habit to be pitching up your voice all the time. And that's something, by the way, if you've ever done voiceover work, if you've ever been a reporter, like doing video game reporting, the style of the time for voicing over reviews of video games was not having a deep voice. It was having a much faster, higher pitched voice. You'll see this with a lot of reaction content, short form videos, or like shorter form videos, or like 10-minute breakdowns of things. You tend to pitch up simply for the fact that you're able to talk much faster often if you pitch up. It's just natural to how things go. Yeah, it was a little weird that a lot of people thought it was a vestige of divergence. I didn't see it in Reddit like that. I didn't see other people outside of media conflating the whole vestige of divergence thing. I didn't see any Critical Role fans bring that up, but I could be wrong. So let me know if that's true. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a bunch of fantastic interviews with Chris Perkins on the YouTube channel. I am expecting to get more interviews with the Critical Role cast and Darrington Press on Daggerheart as well in the future. And hopefully we have a few people, surprise guests, on this pre-show as well. No promises, but I would like to start turning this into a bit of a variety show. Okay, so this is, and thank you everyone for coming. This is my thank you. Welcome to my socialization. Getting to hang out with all of you, getting hyped for an episode, and frankly, you doing like 90% of my brain power for these shows is one of my favorite things. Who smells the best? I can't say. Fun fact: I am taller than any member of Critical Role, including Travis Willingham. I forget this, and I was reminded of it. Because in my brain, Travis is much taller than me, but I saw him right before New Year's, and I forgot that I'm considerably taller than Travis. And Travis is a tall dude. Now, he's more ripped, for certain. So, I am, if anyone has been watching Game of Thrones' A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, that actor is in fact my height. He is 6'5", and to put this in perspective, Hellboy, who is Ron Perlman, is only 6 foot tall. I'm 6'5", so I'm taller than Jeff Goldblum. Elordi, who played Frankenstein, him and I are the same height, so I'm Frankenstein height. If you need that perspective on life, that's how tall I am. So. Lol, I was coming in with a wild question. Didn't think you actually answer. That's pretty funny. I enjoyed the soldiers table. Sum up Critical Role. Whitney did a great job. Whitney's killing it. I think they're all killing it. And I really enjoyed. Oh yeah, Tailgate was really well. I need to actually, tell them how much I liked Tailgate. I thought Whitney did a fantastic job. I really liked the first episode of Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, by the way. I did watch Tailgate, and I thought it was fantastic. We learned a couple of things. There's a lot more to Kattigan than we're seeing. Robbie Daymond mentioned that he was worried that that the table was a little against him when he yelled at Tyranny so much in character. He checked in with Whitney, which was a good thing, because if you haven't had moments to roleplay together, that was like a big moment, a really dramatic moment to be yelling at someone. And even if you know you're role playing, even if you know you're acting, some part of your brain sometimes will react in a very real way, rather than kind of processing that this is fake or not real. But it was great that he checked in with Whitney. He kind of brought it up around the table. There's clearly a lot more going on with Kattigan, and some of that was improv. And this is what's fantastic. Like, Kattigan has a dark past. He has a lot of things he's processing. But the whole deal with the doll, throwing it out into the mud, that was improvised and not necessarily originally telling into his backstory, but now will inform his backstory. And that's something they brought up. And that's something you're able to do as a character. You can have a moment in games like in your D&D games, in your Daggerheart games, in Critical Role, you can do something in the game. And if there's nothing canonically heading up to that moment, when you do something like throw a doll into the mud, maybe he had no past with a daughter. Maybe he had no past with family. Maybe he had no connection to a doll at all, but he thought this would be a cool moment. Well, he can retroactively make that canon because it was a fun choice that added to the narrative. And as long as you're not breaking previous canon in your backstory, that's great. Your characters can evolve over time. It's just like a writer's room for a TV show. What might be true or theoretically true for the first season of a show may change drastically in the second season, not because it's contradicting itself, but because you've added to the lore and found something fun to do. I think we learned also it's very much a parental-child relationship going on between Tyranny and Kattigan. She specifically said that he feels like her father as a character, not in the daddy sort of way. There was a lot of good back and forth. I thought this was a really good show. I'm glad to see them interviewing each other and having this back and forth. Of course, we learned, Sam Riegel's killing it with so much backstory when it comes to his character Wikander, and seeing the evolution of that character who is really used to getting everything done and handed to him. I see the evolution that character is going to continue to have. I thought that was really fantastic. Seeing that blade evolve absolutely will be really fun. Hey, everyone, welcome Tracy Kalja BLB. Hi, thank you, first timer. Thank you for hanging out. This is kind of a just chatting atmosphere. I'm calling someone out in chat right now. I don't know if you know me at all. I will introduce myself. My name's Todd Kenrick. I've been covering Critical Role for 9 years now, interviewing Matthew Mercer, the rest of the cast of Critical Role. I was the founding member of D&D Beyond. We used to sponsor Critical Role all the time. I was there. One of my favorite moments is I was there for the end of Campaign 1. I was there in the studio, which was a magical time. To see everyone go through all the emotions of ending that first campaign was wild. I reviewed the Mighty Nine. I got early release copies. I interviewed the cast, and I interviewed the cast for this show as well. So I'm a big Critical Role fan. I even did a live play show that was set in Wildmount for a pretty long run, dealing with like Hooper Duke and a couple other locations. It was really fun. So I had Critical Role maps all over the place while I was doing that live play show, and a little too obsessed with getting the details right to the point where I would actually email a few friends about the specifics of how many soldiers are in this town right now. So thank you. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be conservative with my voice today. I know everyone can tell it's a little The pitch is different, for sure. So, thank you so much for joining. We're going to make it all the way to the show. It's 4:42 now. I have a lot of items around me. If you have any other advice as well, by the way, I have tea, throat coat tea. I have coffee, which is probably not what I should be drinking. I have ice water. So by the end of this, I'm going to have a very deep voice. So hi, Tracy. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. I appreciate all of you. It's just nice to hang out with a bunch of people who are excited for the show. If I cough once in a while, I'll try a mute. To spare you, and hopefully the audio isn't too loud if I turn my face away from the microphone, so I sound like I'm gargling whiskey. Yeah, I have a head cold, so I'm getting through this. I didn't want to disappoint people by not showing up, so yeah. Any predictions as to the cold open tonight? Well, theoretically, the cold open would be the Schemers table. Well, how wild would it be to be the Soldiers table? I feel like it would be the Schemers table for a brief minute, though they certainly need to fill in a little bit of what is going on as they approach, Dalmakiar again as the Soldiers table. So, but I think it will be the Schemers. Yeah, I think the Schemers make the most sense, but it's anyone's game right now. They can do what they want, and going zigging and zagging is to their purview and keeps things entertaining. Like, I don't want to always know, but that's my Theraflu. I'm doing Zycam, which is helping, I think, in theory. It might be a cult. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that, everybody. I cannot give medical advice. Oh, do I have a typo? Oh, we. I see your typo. That was pretty funny though. Will we e is pretty amazing. Oh man, thank you for sticking with me on this cold, or head cold, whatever. Yeah, it's this maybe I did too many Bane impressions the other day. So, I want a flashback cold open about Taylor's brother. Yeah, interesting. I am interested in, there's still opportunity for Taylor's brother to be a guest star. So that's something that could happen. I don't know that for sure, but I'm just saying it could happen. So we'll find out. But yeah, let's go ahead and go over what we know. And I'm just going to check on something real quick. Speak amongst yourselves. So I don't know what the predictions are, what's going to go on in this particular episode. I think it's going to be... I think this is where we delve into the really nitty-gritty of stuff. We've had several visions having to do with Halandil and Fang's and Thaisha's son. So we've had visions of that. They're trying to track that down in this place of concrete pillars, basically. Make sure ads are going. It's a fair assumption. Thank you so much for asking. Tyranny Wiki says it's the Seeker's Table. Yes, today is the Seeker's Table. We're speculating as to what the opening will be, the cold open. Not what we're following. It's definitely the Seeker's Table, for sure. Yeah. Yep, it's Seekers, and Matt is part of the Seekers. So we're back into Matt territory. So it was pretty crazy because I almost thought Robbie Daymond was going to start joining the Schemers table, and he was the only one going back to Dalmakiar. So that was pretty impressive in the episode where I legit thought, I'm like, okay, Robbie Daymond could be leaving the Soldiers table, going over to the Seekers. I mean, the Schemers. But it felt like they organically all decided to go together to the city. So, what's the coolest item you've gone from the set? I've taken nothing from the Critical Role set. Now, I will say, thank you so much for the gift subs. That's so nice. Gift memberships. Thank you, General Just Jupiter. As always, if you want to help support the stream, super chats are welcome. giving gift subs and memberships to other people is super kind and really awesome to do. So I highly recommend that. Not that I don't love a super chat. Super chats are great way for me to see your comment and address it immediately in chat. Also, people who do super chats end up in the and subscribers too. I think they end up in feed on the front page. So cold open will likely be the schemers, and then we're going into the seekers. Yeah, that trailer was awesome for the Seekers table. And I really like Matt's wrap-up of the Soldiers table as well. I'm very happy with that content. Have you secretly added anything? I'm going to confess only one thing, and I'm not going to say whose. I was interviewing Matt maybe for the third or fourth time, and I was on the set of Critical Role, and I wasn't thinking, I'm just talking to Matt in this interview, and I absentmindedly touched someone's dice at the table. I was like rolling them in my hand while we're doing the interview, and I felt so bad. I won't say whose they were, but I desecrated their dice. I remember the dice I touched. I remember exactly which dice they were that this person owns. I felt terrible. I get a little superstitious myself, I'll be completely honest. So yeah, don't touch other people's dice. Wow, I got this is a weird aside. I got from Legends of Avantris. They sent me their Crooked Moon box set. The dice are gorgeous in that, absolutely amazing. And I got some Critical Role dice recently as well, that with little like flecks of gold, not real gold, but they're in the dice, and that is gorgeous. I will tell you, it was not Laura's dice, and this was a long time ago. I'm not gonna say who I cursed, because honestly, I kind of want to square things with them. I don't know. I'll have to watch what happened in the episode afterwards. I don't think anything bad happened, but I felt bad. Yeah. So I've never stolen anything from the Critical Role set. Nor have I left things behind willingly, other than maybe a cell phone charger. So I know I've left chargers. Yeah. Critical Role owns a bunch of my chargers, for sure. Let's go over things. We're in the preamble. Thank you all for hanging out. We got 183 people. Hey, if you're new in chat, please sound off and say hello. These are some of the most welcoming people you will ever meet in an internet chat. So if you're new, just come out, say it. Everyone here is cool. Everyone here is a critter. Everyone's super kind. Wonderful way to spend some time. Can you imagine if we had this for movies we were excited for? Like if we had if there was a pre-show lobby for like Avengers Doomsday, I would do that. Right? Just having like good food, hanging out with people who are excited for the movie, throwing theories around, and then boom, you pop into the movie. That would be kind of cool. But movie theaters will never do it. That's how they do the circus and stuff, actually. So, yeah. Let's go and jump in to kind of the rundown. I don't know what someone is saying awful. I play elves in every campaign. I don't build... No, play elves, man. Don't feel bad about it. My wife Megan may play an elf for the first time in years, only because we found a really fun hook having to do with the elf. Because, the typical elf... Hi, I'm Graceful. Hi. Hello, Teo. Welcome to the chat. Wow, we got 197 people early. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate all of you. As you can see, I've got my my wife got me this awesome plushie red dragon. Got the little red dragon wormling in the corner. Todd Kenrick will also return in Doomsday for sure. And I got my closet. There's a mimic in blue all the way behind me. I will have to take you all on a tour eventually of my studio. So Good day to everybody. And yeah, if you're new, don't be afraid. Don't be a stranger. People here are very kind, very welcoming. Hit the like button. Yeah. I don't know how often people hit like buttons anymore. I don't even know if it affects anything on YouTube. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps. Everything helps. Again, very sorry for the cough. If it gets too loud, I will make sure to mute every time. So, I want to go over some other things. So I'm going to bring up a document. But talk amongst yourselves for a second. We got 200 people is pretty wild. Especially so early. I am very, I cannot stress how excited I am for the Seeker's Table because I think Brennan's been killing it. I love the Feywild stuff. I really love, I've really loved the last 10 episodes. I think the Seeker stuff, we're going to see some major lore drops. So let's go ahead and dive into what we know from last episode, which is not so applicable because the timing's a little bit different. Hey Todd, are you still thinking of selling your extra D&D stuff? I am. I've actually packed up a bunch of my D&D stuff. So, I am trying to, well, trying to save money, but I am also selling some of my D&D stuff, and some of it has aged and kind of become more valuable. So I have a lot of collector's item D&D books that I'm about to sell. I have some video game stuff. I found a dice set, and this is insane. They're the 45th anniversary dice set for D&D. One of the D20s has a sapphire embedded in it, which is wild. I was asked by D&D to videotape and shoot a video on these dice. In exchange, they gave me the product test. So it's not one of the numbered dice sets. It's the test dice set, which probably makes it even more valuable in some weird way. And those dice sets are selling for like an insane amount of money. So like I figured I'd just keep on funding video production by selling my D&D stuff. I'm trying not to be so emotionally attached to the items I own that were not gifted to me by my wife or are of a specific memory. I get really tied. I have a real issue with it is a sapphire, but it's a sapphire that was grown, but it is legit a real sapphire, which is crazy. Yeah. Level Up Dice made these for D&D's 45th anniversary. You can look them up. They're silver and blue, and I still have the original box and everything else. I can't bear to roll with them. I've seen them rolled on live play shows a few times, and I was like, oh, God, I couldn't do it. I don't need a dice set that costs that much. It makes me too nervous. So, and I have weird dice I love. I have... They got those eyeball dice that are in liquid right now. I love them. I love themed dice for each character. I am a dice goblin. It's been a real issue. I've thought about doing an auction on eBay, but the problem is I don't typically sell things on eBay. So I did post some of my rare D&D books up there, and no one bid on eBay at all. So maybe I need to do like a live stream, D&D live stream auction connected to my eBay account. That would actually be pretty smart. I love seeing photos of people's bookshelves. Can you turn your camera? I can't. It will be out of focus. And mostly on my bookshelf now are WizKid miniatures and statues and things like that. Most of my books are actually in another room because I became concerned of the compound weight of my bookshelf with all my D&D books. I got a little worried. So, Auction stream would be pretty fun. There's a minimum on some of those things, and shipping's a lot, but yeah, not a bad idea. And then, again, thank you for everyone for being here. Oh, man. Ooh, 2 more hours. We can do it. Man, I hope everyone appreciates I am rallying right now with this cold. The voice is fun to hear, though. Yeah, do a super chat goal, if that's okay, for 30 minutes. We'll do another stream. No Bane impressions today. But I appreciate all of you. Please add some honey. It's so funny. I'm in keto right now, and you sound very sick. I'm not as sick as I sound, so don't worry, I'm okay. Hopefully it's kind of nice and bassy. So this is what let's go ahead. Oh yeah, Monty Cook has some great stuff. I do have like my second edition monster manual and my Dungeon Master's Guide. Oh, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Mark Stewart. Do you think after the cooldown of the Soldier's Table, we get cold starts with interactions with the Schemer's Table? I do, absolutely. I think we're going to see a lot more of the Schemer's Table. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, and just a general reminder I like to always do for everybody. Always be kind to everybody. Everyone here in chat is always kind to each other. Sometimes when I'm outside this chat, I see negativity in the space. That's not coming from like the D&D community in general. I can tell you people like D4, Jenny D, the Dungeon Dudes, Deborah on Wall, everyone at Critical Role, everyone at Legends of Evantris. D4 Deep Dive. These are some of the most positive and uplifting people I've ever known. They have done nothing but help me, especially when I was laid off. These are the people who reached out to see how I was doing and what kind of things we could do together. The D&D community and creator community is extremely positive and kind. If you ever catch someone who's complaining about somebody else, they're the kind of person who complains about everybody else. Just like the kind of people you meet in high school, right? Same thing. So embrace positivity and being kind, and always assume positive intent from people as much as you possibly can. So let's dive into the previous episode, which doesn't tell us much about what's going to happen here. But so we had a little bit of a moment in the last episode with the Seeker's Table. They're traveling east through the dwarven ancestral lands of Kavros. They visit the village of Adzar. They find a bunch of dwarven statues dedicated to a goddess of the forge and one of primordial earth. Thaisha, though, becomes very frustrated because a lot of this is these people are actually they're praying to the Shaper gods, which the whole reason of all of this was to bring down the gods. And the fact that the gods in this revolution were taken down and that people are still praying to them and praying for their return really kind of upset Thaisha, but the group decided to respect the people's choice to mourn the death of the gods. But it was kind of a reminder of like nothing in this world of Ahriman is cut and dry. So I really like that kind of moment. Then we move over to the Schemers in Dalmakiar. The Schemers, they discuss a whole bunch of very reckless moves with the Sundered Houses. They are talking about, hey, who are the contacts that are gossipy? Who can we reach out to about spying? Who can we reach out to start a resistance within the city of Dalmakiar? And so they really are kind of coming into their own in terms of being spies in that previous cold open, and I'm hoping we see even more of that. They learn that the palazzo for the Davinos is empty, And there are signs that the family has fled to the fairy realm, which we all know is BS. And why would have the Davinos family done that? It makes no sense. But clearly, they tried to, they left a feast in that palazzo, telling everyone to eat, and everything's totally fine. And clearly, things are not fine. There was a massive amount of death. We also had this really lovely moment, I thought, of the fact that there were workers' families who had disappeared that night, who probably were killed by wraiths and ghouls. Their families were dropping by, wondering where their children were, where their family members were, where they disappeared to. So, no cover-up like this of an entire family's disappearance can be entirely covered up neatly, even with a world of magic. So, we do have, we discovered with the soldiers' table, they escape with Tear's brother, as well as several other statues, paladins that were turned into stone, they realize. And they do find out by testing them using detect magic and kind of putting everything together is that all of these paladins that were petrified by the Tachonis family were using divine sense. And that divine sense can be an early warning system for the Tachonis family. But why do they need it? So there was a saying that they could say that was written down that would allow them to detect undead. But technically, they could also use a different phrase or saying to detect infernal creatures or fae. And by infernal, I mean fiend. So it's very useful to have a bunch of statues of paladins, maybe because they suspect an infernal influence could mess with the Tachonis family, or an undead influence could interfere with the Tachonis family. That early warning sign has me suspicious. So if you're ready to speculate about some weird stuff, I'm here for it. Why would you go to this much trouble to turn paladins into stone? It's not a one-off or a quirky little weird plot to be doing this. Why? I mean, be a villain, everybody in chat, for a minute. Why would you go to so much trouble to find paladins, get them to use divine sense, and then turn them to stone? Unless you were anticipating a scenario where it was absolutely important that you know when undead were nearby. Do these statues go into a palace because they're dressed up and put in finery? Is this a situation where they know that the realm, and we keep on being told this, the realm of the dead and the realm of the living, that membrane's getting thinner? And I feel like the Tachonis family is either poking and prodding that membrane, or they're anticipating an apocalyptic event where undead spill out. The Tachonis family is up to something, and they've always been meddling with death. But the fact that they need some kind of security system now, in their opinion, is very telling, unless it is specifically to deal with Octus, which right now I don't believe is true, that they feel Octus is that much of a threat. But that could be a possibility. But why so many paladins? Is this the only location that they're doing this with paladins? We don't know. So, Teor levels up. They escape. They disguise themselves as Tachonis guards. They get away mostly with their stealth checks. We had some great moments between Tyranny and Kattigan. Kattigan gave Tyranny a new bone handle for her knife. They kind of remind us that Tyranny, as a character, is only really 6 months old. The party together has decided to go back to Dal Makyar. Thimble apologizes to Wick for her hostility. And we find our group, the soldiers, heading back to Dal Makyar. And that's kind of a very brief explanation to everything that's been going on in this world. Now, we got a lot that we need to unpack still with the nature of Wakander. Wakander's father is blindfolded and has light coming out of his eyes, and he also has wings and bones protruding from him. His grandfather has full wings and has multiple layers of teeth and is in full bestial celestial mode. And now we are seeing the evolution of Wick as well, who seems like he's an Asmar. There seemed to be a little bit of confusion when it came from Sam. And this may not be potentially knowing the line between Clockwork Soul Sorcerer and the line of, hey, my species happens to be Asmar. Or maybe this is a new, very specific subclass that was tailor-made for him. I don't think they made an alteration to the Clockwork Soul Sorcerer. I think he's just role-playing the Asmar portion, even though, as listed, his species is human. They could be going about this in a lot of different ways. So that's kind of the rundown, everybody. Very short, sweet. I'm trying to not talk at a mile a minute, so I hope you are enjoying your ASMR Critical Role chat today before the show. What is everyone's speculations as to what we will see happen? I'm really excited to hear more about, because I love lore. Love it, love it, love it. Also, I will do this hour-long interview if I can get Brennan Mulligan to agree to it about crows. Probably not, because no one loves crows as much as I do, except for maybe a few people. There is no terminology for an Asmar, you are correct, but using the Asmar species as sort of as the base for what is going on with Halavar is very likely. So, just like we're using probably tieflings, in fact, I'm almost 100% that we're using the tiefling species for Tyranny, even though Tyranny is a demon, and those things are two very different things. So, Lore Zamar is a great idea. I love fairy stuff. I love fae stuff. I think the Feywild is scarier than Ravenloft. Hey, thank you, Mark Stewart, for being a member for a month. That's huge. Wick is still feeling out of his powers in Tailgate. Yeah, I love this slow burn evolution of Wickander. I think it's one of my favorite things. I always enjoy... I just really love seeing slow character evolution. And we're having such a slow burn with... I mean, Sam's got plenty of time to talk. But man, that character is going to be so different after 3 years. And I think the same thing is true for Davinos. I think Matt's character is going to really evolve over the next 3 years. I think Julien's going to be nuts. Yeah. Yeah, if you need to capture a wild Brennan Mulligan, all you need is almonds. I also have an obsession with almonds. I have, no joke, I have 5 different heat levels of almonds in my house right now, of different Schofield levels. So I think the highest is the ghost pepper almonds. They will mess you up for life. Yeah. I wonder why the Fae are not more powerful without the gods. I have a lot of questions as to why the Fae were even remotely reliant on the gods, or if they in fact were. It could be that the Fae are actually one of the biggest threats to the world of Armon and the power and control, because you think the Fae could have overpowered things. It feels like the Fae could, but we keep on getting hints that the Fae are growing less powerful because the Feywild has been cut off to them. And the creatures of the dead, undead, have been growing more and more powerful over time. And that's what we've been getting out of it so far. So these are the things I think we're going to learn a lot about. We're going to learn about the kind of the prophecies that we are seeing having to do with Thaisha's son, the visions of him, the stone pillars in the fog, I believe. And if people want to jump into chat and remind everybody about the visions that they saw, go ahead. So, yeah, we are getting a bigger sense of such a bigger story. I think Octus is very front and center of that story. What I love is that Matt's character, increasingly, is growing kinder and to Octus. And his obsession with Octus and his family will ultimately, and this is one of my favorite things in novels and movies, is, Matt's character has this obsession. Julien has an obsession with Octus. He's angry at Octus. He's angry at the Tachonis family. So he's keeping a watchful eye on Octus. And that obsession is slowly lending him to care about Octus more as a person. And what a fun arc to have as a role player, as an actor, in a novel. I love it when people start as adversaries and grow in friendship. I would argue, I don't know if you've seen Predator Badlands. What a wild movie to create. Hi 718. Talk normally, please. This is sadly my voice right now. I'm so sorry. I have a head cold and my vocal cords are stripped. So I apologize. I cannot. Bob Sinclair, thank you so much. Thanks for hopping in chat. For those that are new, announce yourselves. Introduce yourself to everybody else in chat. Please do so. If I am uncharacteristically gravelly today, that is because I have a head cold, and I am hopefully at the peak of it right now. I've got coffee, I've got throat coat tea, I have a big bucket of ice water. I'm doing my best, everybody. So this is what you get when you make me do so many Venom impressions and Bane impressions. Thank you, Pop Sinclair, for the £2 super chats. Always appreciate it. Appreciate you. 1, 2. I love it. Yeah, I do feel like I'm doing great for a head cold, actually. I've had far worse, and I am the biggest baby. Listen, I am 6'5", 250 pounds. I've got kind of a farmer, the muscle build, and I need you to understand. I got an arrow through my hand once. I stabbed an arrow right through my hand by accident. I hate colds. Even if I'm not externally whiny about being sick, I am a baby screaming on the ground when it comes internally, in my mind, when I have a cold or I'm sick. Absolute baby. Cannot handle it. Paper cut. But stab an arrow through my hand. That sucks. Time to go to the hospital. But, what's happened has happened. Oh yeah, everyone, we got 271 people. And hey, if you really want to help the chat, tell other people in the D&D community that we have this chat, that we have this kind of just talking hangout thing before the show. That helps. That is the most helpful thing you can possibly do, is to rally the troops, get us all together, one big chat room, having a good time, talking about theories. That is how you can help the channel. You don't have to do a super chat, and also I really want to appreciate. Thank you so much for the super chats, by the way. 4 drinks of honey, hot water, and whiskey. Also, no, I'm not putting whiskey anywhere near this. I'm also doing dry January, so no, there will be no whiskey. 5. Thank you so much, Bob Sinclair. Very kind. Reincarnation is an old way faith, it seems. I wonder how this is achieved lore-wise. I would love to see some reincarnation. Obviously, we've seen, and there's intentional reincarnation that we've seen, which is unusual. 7. Bob Sinclair out of control. Because we've run into these hounds who were previously paladins, and they took an oath, and they decided, they went to the druids and said, we do want to be reincarnated as dogs so we could continue to be of service, these paladins. So normally in D&D, when you're using the reincarnation spell as a druid, you roll randomly to see what the species is. that you will come back as. This is clearly something very different because dogs are not on the menu in terms of what this role is. You know, it might be an elf, it might be a tiefling, it might be a bunch of different species, but it won't be a dog. So the intentionality of coming back as a dog, I love. And as I've said before, I would full willingly play an Awakened Raven in a D&D campaign. I think there are a lot of... number 8, thank you so much, Bob Sinclair's just trying to get that... Bob Sinclair's trying to get the goal early. As an Irishman, shame on dry anything. I understand. I am Scottish predominantly. I recently found out. I should have known. Todd, in your mind, who do you think dies for 100% dies first? Ooh, I need to think about that. Thank you so much, Say Robin. To see species published at some time, loving Pixie. I would like to see Pixie is available in D&D as a species. It's in the Wild Beyond the Witchlight as a species that's playable. I really like Daggerheart's take on that species as well because they're kind of insect-like. Thank you so much, Bob Sinclair, again for the £2 super chat. I think we've hit our goal, everybody. We did it. Wow, that's cool. That's awesome. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, I was genuinely surprised I was Scottish. They narrowed it down to the town. That they can do that stuff now. It's I spent my whole life thinking I was Irish or just English. What is funny is a lot of my family grew up in London, apparently, heritage-wise. Glasgow, Edinburgh, which is where my honeymoon was, and Birmingham. Weird amount of family from Birmingham. So very Peaky Blinders oriented family. Yeah. I've not checked out The Vagabond. So who do we think can die? It's a good question. Above the table, we know that Halandil, Fang, Liam O'Brien, as the game progressed, came up with a secondary character idea he didn't have before. He admitted they told Brennan Mulligan, and Brennan loved the idea so much that Liam kind of feels like his character is in danger of dying because of that idea of a secondary character. Might be too on the nose. I think wild to see. I feel like Julien is very rash and interesting. If he did this, someone so selfish, so self-centered, did the sacrificial play for the group and died, I think that would be amazing. So I think Julien is someone who's very likely to die. I feel like, and I'm thinking thematically, because they don't script things at Critical Role like this. They don't do that. The Overture, there were things that we knew were going to happen, but that is not what's happening with the show today. Octus would be weird to die after already having died. This is kind of my complaint of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Doomsday. They can't kill Loki again. It will have zero effect on the audience. They cannot kill Loki again. Doomsday cannot kill Loki. It cannot happen. I don't know what they're going to do with Loki. I don't know if I'm going to like Doomsday, but I'm going to be eating popcorn and watching intently. Taliesin as well. The only thing Taliesin's scared of is a nasty dispel magic, but he is an artifact, so artifact rules are different. In D&D, if you're curious, this is something that actually came up. I don't know if it's true for the 2024 rules, but I can't imagine it got different. You can't kill Bugs Bunny, you're correct. So I actually ran a campaign for 3 years, part of which was set in... Just a second. Oh boy. Part of which was actually set in Wildmount. But it became very important. One of the characters was secretly playing a god, playing their own character, which was great. It was the best thing ever. and they cast Dispel Magic, causing a flying fortress to crash. Now, the only way they could do that to an artifact was by being a god. And it's this one throwaway line in Dispel Magic that can do it. Let me find it for posterity's sake. So Dispel Magic came up as a threat, potentially. And by the way, Brennan doesn't need to adhere to the D&D rules on this. It would just be too easy and unsatisfying to kill. I mean, it depends how you do it, but to kill, to kill Bolaire with Dispel Magic would be kind of a bummer. So let's go ahead and jump into D&D Beyond, which the wonderful Brian Perry is now the head of. Congratulations to him. Super talented, kind person, and my old boss from back in the day. Let's see. Just going to go ahead and Dispel Magic. Thank you for hanging out for this sudden rules drop to inform everybody about how it works. We got the 2024 rules. Choose one creature or object or magical effect in range. Blah, blah, level 3. Target ends. Oh, there's no mention of godhood in this. Make an ability check. You automatically end a spell on the target if the spell's level is equal to or lesser than the spell slot you used. I think this terminology was under magical items. So I'll have to do a little bit more research on this topic, because odd thing to add to the spells, but interesting thing to have in maybe something like the Dungeon Master's Guide. Yeah. I'll hunt it down. So I do know rules is written back in the day. A magic, an artifact could not be dispelled unless it was cast by a deity's magic. So very specifically. Hey everybody, say hello to Ziggy. We got a lot of people here. We got 302 people. That's more than we had last week. We're growing. And again, hey, I can always say the typical YouTube thing, like, subscribe, leave comments. That all helps the algorithm. But this chat is just, we're just chatting. We're hanging out. We're getting souped up for the show. We're having a good time. People are probably not going to be watching this VOD the next day. They can, and I think that's great if they do, but this is mainly just us hanging out and talking. So I'm hoping to have some more interviews. For those that have just jumped in, I've been covering D&D and Critical Role for the last 9 years. I can't believe it. The first time I met Matt was 9 years ago. Started doing interviews at Emerald City Comic Con all the way up to today. So doing live streams about Critical Role, I've been doing that for years now. And happy to be back at it again. So thank y'all for hanging out. The best way you can honestly help the chat room is tell other creators about the chat room and grow the audience. And the more people we have in here, the more we get out of it, frankly. You guys are all so helpful. I mean, honestly. Mighty 9 years. Yeah. Let's make the monster channel grow. I really do mean that in the sense of not for like, hey, let's make a bunch of money. No, I literally just want to grow the community with all of you. One of the most positive experiences I've had in my life. Well, a lot of them have been with critters, actually, especially publicly. I covered cosplayers from Critical Role at C2E2 right before COVID broke out, and that was so lovely to interview so many cosplayers. I'll have to post that. Let me post that in chat. It's not the first one, but maybe I should always post those for folks to see. Critical Role cosplay D&D Beyond. Paying the bills is always a nice thing. I am optimistic that I will find a job, hopefully very soon. But I can tell you right now, I'm not going to stop doing this if I do. I'm not going to stop covering what I cover. I'm not going to stop doing what I do. Never again will I let that happen. So, just letting you know. This is my video on Critical Role cosplay. I am bald. This is 5 years ago. It's so long. Wow, what a time. (2022). Man, everyone was so sweet to me. That was one of the such a kind moment. Yeah, I think I'm glad you appreciate the pregame moment. We're gonna be doing some more stuff coming up that hopefully will be a surprise. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it right now, but there are plans. There are plans within plans, and let's look up. This should be easy because it's on my own channel. Back in the day. This is how old the channel is. It's funny. There are like sometimes people are like, "Oh, you're new to the Critical Role space." I'm like, I was one of the first. I remember when they were a webcam show. But okay, it's so weird. The gatekeeper, the weird gatekeeping that some people do is, and not coming from this community, by the way. That gatekeeping never comes from the actual people I know in the community. Or the D&D community, frankly. It's always someone who's kind of like on the make. I find that a lot. Ooh, man, that's a lot of content. I've been doing this for a minute. Where is my... God. Wild. (17th). It's not the very first one. The first one was dungeon mastering. So long ago. It's like I need to put these in my resume. (2017), y'all. April 2017, coming out hot. That's the first time I met Matt, and we decided to do. I asked him if he wanted to do a prom photo. I had never met him, and we didn't actually know each other at all. We just had a really good interview, and it was just hilarious and weird. Yes, I think Matt is a warlock for sure. Oh yes, I did see Matt. What a great interview. The Nancy Cartwright interview was fantastic. I love seeing Matt talk to other voice actors and stuff like that. I'm really excited for Age of Umbra Season 2 as well. Hey, we got 308 people in chat right now. All 308 of you. If you have a question, you can ask me anything. Like we've kind of established, I've been covering Critical Role for 9 years now, doing live streams, doing interviews, even doing the live play shows, covering Daggerheart, covering Darrington Press, all of it, man. We've been here for a minute doing the work. So I'm so happy that Matt is getting to play. Matt is a dungeon master. Him getting to play, you know he's going to bring it. Yeah, it's pretty wild because, covering D&D and Critical Role, not that popular 9 years ago. I'm going to tell you right now. There wasn't a ton of people interviewing Critical Role. There weren't people covering Critical Role 9 years ago, and so we got a lot of new people doing it, and I'm thankful. And there are people killing it at it. They're doing great jobs. Yeah, I've had a great time. Am I going to cover the One Ring TTRPG? Sometimes it's really hard for me to cover everything. Mark Stewart, thank you for the $2 super chat. Been following Critical Role team since Geek and Sundry days. Yeah, I mean, that's the OG, right? I remember when they first did the webcam stuff. which is what made me decide to interview Matt. And certainly video quality got better and better. I remember when I was at Geek and Sundry for some reason, and I saw them building up the new sets back in the day. But I think I was there to talk to Felicia Day at the time. So I've been interviewing Felicia Day since season 2 of The Guild, which is why I was so aware of Critical Role. So, yeah. You know, it's a pretty small world, really. The tabletop space just is. And by nature, it was smaller even then. So we've all known each other for years and years and years. Felicia Day is great. Super smart. Great business person. Geek and Sundry was fantastic. You know, ever shifting economies and stuff like that affect folks. You know, sold her company, all that stuff. I could see Hal dying. Yeah, I could definitely. Hal dying, I don't feel like we've really got Hal fully fleshed out in the way I would like to see him before he died. But man, losing 2 brothers, losing Halandil Fang as well as the Aussie, what a nightmare fight for Thaisha. What a dark moment for a druid. Hey, watching from Minneapolis. Thank you for the distraction. Big hearts, man. Varn, I appreciate you, and thanks for hanging out. I know it's a hard time. I do wonder if Julian's shadow is a demon, like Percy's, or is the curse. Because they keep on mentioning words have meaning, curses have meaning. And so there's a curse aspect to the shadow, and perhaps the echo that we're seeing with Julien. Julien may be dealing with slowly evolving into an Echo Knight. Now he is, I suspect, he's fighter / rogue. So we won't find out what his subclass is, and I'm assuming Julien is 3 levels of fighter. So he may. Oh, has Julien done something that was Battlemaster-like? He's in level 3, though, so he's multi-classed. So he shouldn't be able to do any Battlemaster stuff yet. Interesting. I will have to look at a big breakdown. What specifically Battlemastery... Because I assumed Julien would become a Battlemaster, but he's 2 levels of fighter, I believe, and also 1 level of rogue. Anyone in chat, you can correct me wrong, but I don't believe I'm wrong. So that means in 2024 core rules, you do not reach your subclass until level 3. He physically, he mechanically cannot be level 3. So, oh man, Viva La Dirt, they're some of the funniest, most talented people. I am also very excited for them to be playing Daggerheart. I am not fully caught up, so don't ruin anything for me. Action Surge happens at level 2 for fighter. He could use a feat possibly to see. Yeah. He got hasted, yeah, for sure. He got the haste. Weapon Masters also couldn't do a bunch of things. Yeah, I don't think he specifically used Battlemaster. I gotta tell you, if you like fighters, Battlemaster is the one to beat, and mechanically it's kind of a nightmare for D&D. By the way, also to improve chat, I am actually going to take some of the funds that I make here on the YouTube channel, as always, to improve gear. I do have a teleprompter I'm looking at right now. It's too small for me to see chat. Elgato makes a very, very tiny teleprompter that I can't read from this far away. They've got a bigger one that I'm going to invest money in so that I can do these live streams a little bit better. That's a function of my old man eyes. So I need a bigger screen so I can read chat, but I really like eye contact, like directly camera eye contact, and be able to read chat while I'm staring at the camera rather than looking down like this. I think that'll improve the vibe, don't you? So yeah, I'm going to use some of the funds from the advertising on the YouTube channel and also Patreon to upgrade the gear. And then if this live stream continues to do as well as it is, I want to start paying guests to be on the show. because I'm really leery of me making any kind of profit on a show that and having a guest, like guest for exposure, feels pretty creepy. Right now, I'm using an older Shure microphone. It's USB. Oh, it sounds good still? Good. I'm making sure I don't need to buy another one. Buying new gear is a nightmare, y'all. It's so expensive. So yeah, I want to start having guests. I want to turn this into kind of like, not the Tonight Show, but like a nice, cool hang show. Maybe have someone pop into chat via video and audio, talk about some cool stuff, talk about some theory crafting. Maybe get one of the Wikia people on here. I think that would be really fun because those are the experts. And again, yeah, I'm probably gonna reach out and try to get Danny Carr on here. I told you if they don't do it, it's not within their interest. They could do their own pre-show and be totally fine. Yeah, tech is expensive. Holy crap, man! If I had known, if I had a kid right now and he's like, I want to get into video production, I'd be like, absolutely not. You're gonna become a farmer. Yeah, Elgato did come out with a bigger teleprompter with a bigger price point. Holy crap. I'm glad they made it. Because this one, I remember when I got this teleprompter, I didn't read the inches it was. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. I bought this one when it came out, and I was like, oh my god, my cell phone's bigger than this. This is hard to read. But yeah. Yeah, dude, let me know who else is in the Critical Role space that I could have on the live show. People who do reaction stuff. It would be great to have kind of like a dual setup. That'd be fun. Yeah. I like to keep my gear alive as long as I humanly possibly can. So, yeah. It's 5:38. Wow, time is going by. I love hanging out in this chat. I'm not joking. I'm so surprised. I'm like, oh my god, 3 hours. I'm going to stream for 2 or 3 hours. And I'm like, how am I going to get through it? My voice is going. And I'm like, yeah, man, I can go an hour and 20 minutes. Things are great. Having Deborah on, that would be fun. Danny Carr would be a great guest. I don't know who Zach the Bold is. I should. You know what? Leave comments on this video when the video is done. Leave comments about maybe people. Well, don't do that. Reach out on my Patreon. How about that? Yeah. Send me messages possibly on my Patreon. I'll probably create an email just for these kind of critter chats, especially to like. Well, I need to make my critter Discord for sure. Wikia confirms 2 levels fighter, 1 level. Yeah, Rogue. Thank you so much, Wikia folks. You're doing the work. Making my life easy. Same thing to Danny Carr and these freaking awesome rundowns and recaps. The great Danny Carr. Super fun. I love saying plans within plans. David Lynch's Dune. I mean, I'm a big fan of the new Dune, actually. I don't know that the old Dune holds up, but there's some banger lines in that. Plans within plans. I don't mind Timothée Chalamet as Muad'Dib. I think he even makes more sense than Kyle MacLachlan, because Kyle MacLachlan is almost too likable in Dune. In the 80s version, because you can see Timothée Chalamet going dark for the 3rd movie. Spoiler alerts, everybody. Dune's a dark story. Todd Kenrick, great interview on the Ghostfire Lorecast the other day. Thank you so much. I love the Ghostfire Lorecast. Be sure to check them out. What a smart, fun, intelligent, creative group of human beings. And I don't know how I got to be on that show. Seems completely wild. But yeah. Zach the Bold. Okay, I'll check out Zach the Bold. Yeah, always tell me about a content creator maybe I can uplift. I would love to do so. I love the new Dunes. Dude, the new Dunes. And I was a big fan of the book. And I thought that was like super accessible book. I hear people tell me it's not. I think the later books get pretty in the weeds. But the Dune novel I thought was super easy to digest, and I don't know if that's because my mind moves in strange directions. I mean, nothing's easier than The Hobbit, but like The Lord of the Rings is a tough frickin' read. Thank you, Bob Sinclair. Sent 10 Todd Kenner gift memberships. That's really helpful for all the new people in chat, by the way. If you are new to this podcast, to this hang that we are doing, this happening, whatever you want to call it, before we get to watch the main event, we have insanely generous chat members. These are some of the most kind, informed Critical Role fans I have ever met. If you think I'm smart, it's all because of the people in chat. They're so informative and so helpful. And there's nothing cooler than be able to be like, hey, is this right? And then someone looks it up for me and then completely like breaks down. This is exactly what subclass they're doing and this and this and this and this. So insanely helpful. So big shout out to Bob Sinclair for supporting the rest of the community. I love that stuff. I think my favorite thing is I love the super chats. That benefits me. Giving subs to people, that's helping everybody. Would you do a review of the One Ring TTRPG Mines of Moria? Ooh, I'm so really tempted, yes. I love Moria. I also love goblins. I don't know how to explain it. I've played the same character, Avram, for years and years. I gotta tell you, I love a goblin. I love goblins. We don't have enough goblin media. Thank you, Mark Stewart, for 10 more gift subs and memberships to everybody in chat. That's wild. Oh my God. Hey, it's a good day to be in chat. That is amazing. I really appreciate you. That's so kind. And like I said, that's just helping everybody in chat. I think that's so altruistic. Really, really, I think that's the coolest thing you could be doing. Todd Kenrick, any advice for someone who's trying to promote themselves? Oof, I know that's a hard one. I do 3D modeling, sculpting, and have a Kickstarter going on, some 3D printable jungle terrain, and I'm trying to get people to see it. This is really hard because I don't know how big of what you're trying to do is. So I'm happy to kind of go through this. So I don't know what social media following you necessarily have. You can certainly sometimes send stuff to creators, examples of that content, that work. It's so hard to get a following. I wish I had better advice. The nice thing is you probably have pretty good visuals since it's all printable like jungle terrain. Showing that stuff off, demonstrating how well it looks, that's really helpful. I think sometimes it can be great to go to a con and connect with people. I know cons are really expensive. I'm speaking from someone who had no following. I worked at NBC News covering video games and movies and all that stuff before I was covering Critical Role and D&D. And I covered D&D a little bit here and there. And I technically was accidentally covering Critical Role because a lot of them were in video games. I was covering like The Last of Us. I covered extensively. I used to hand out voice actor awards in video games at NBC News. Can't find any of that information anymore, sadly. But I used to hand out awards for that stuff for voice acting, which was really fun. So I'll ponder this, but don't get discouraged. Do your best. I gotta tell you, my first live play show with my wife Megan, 7 viewers a week. 7, and we kept on going. It's a scary thing, but you're gonna meet some really kind people in this space. Find the people that uplift you. Find the people that are positive. If you catch someone who complains about people all the time, still don't get near that drama. They'll just emotionally bring you down and not have you in the right headspace of just doing your best. So, Tuck Henrik, you promised a set tour. When are we getting it? I will do it. I will try to do it this week, and then I will have it ready for the next pre-show. Everybody, I will do a little video, walk around. Was any of that advice helpful, everybody? And by the way, everyone in chat, feel free to respond to them as well if you have advice, if you're a content creator. What's my thoughts on the new Fable game? I'm excited. You know what's weird? I am a freak. I actually didn't hate the one where you had a weird economy at the end of it, where you went from playing Fable and then suddenly you owned a town. I really liked that meta game, even though it was like really lopsided and strange. I had a good time. I'm trying to read. She absolutely is lovely. Who are we talking? What are your thoughts on the new Fable? Yeah, just about sure. Just be sure to bring up William Travis. Uh, you should flex your video game review chops when the Critical Role game eventually releases. Yeah, I will probably. I mean, review the game. I certainly want to do interviews about the game. I thought the Fomorians were fallen Fae originally. I think they are. They are large Fae, but they never. But the newer books say they're giants. So they are. So they are technically giants. They have always been in lore and legends technically Fae creatures. Their eye was taken from them for a slight that we don't need to get into right now. But the Fomorians are very Fae, old world Celtic. I think Eastern Europe. Folklore. I love the Feywild. You know, it's so often that I think I love Hammer horror, Gothic horror, and I do. I love Interview with the Vampire series is amazing right now, and I love Ravenloft. But creepy Feywild, which I feel like Legends of Antris Crooked Moon really hits hard. The Feywild can be the most Halloween horrific place of all. I love the Feywild. I love goblins. I love me a hag. Goblins all day. I'm working on a character right now that is a goblin who is also a werewolf. But when they change, their version of a werewolf looks like a warg. I think that idea is pretty fun. I got another Todd Kenrick. Thank you for answering. The vast and verdant is what is called. Much appreciated. I'm old and have a hard time promoting myself, dude. Well, I don't know what your definition of old is, but it's all scary. I've been without a job for 6 months, and I don't know that I can honestly say that I've handled it very well. I get up every day and I work. You know, I work at trying to find jobs, and I've been working to make content, but like that's hard to wake up in the morning and kind of be that. Is it the Hey, the Blast, Moffling? Is it the Vast and the Verdant Jungle by that blasted Simulo Flauge? Simulo Flunge? Is that what it is? Please confirm. Bob Sinclair, £5, I believe £5. Looking back at your path in D&D media and publishing, what decision or skill do you think mattered the most? That was obvious at the time? That wasn't obvious at the time? Oh, man. God, Bob Sinclair, that's a good question. Oh, man. What decision or skill do you think mattered the most? So I did go to school for film and television. It's so hard. Brennan Lee Mulligan's very good about talking about this, and I will always talk about this. So much of life is luck and chance. And especially if you grew up poor, you don't have like a rich family. You don't have someone who can invest. You are doing this by yourself. I think a lot of people who come from like middle class or rich families forget. And I think some very famous people sometimes think that, hey, I got here because of solely hard work, not just because of fate and luck. And that's a mistake to think, because I've seen people think they're better than other people because they are rich, because they did well. I'm like, a lot of things could have happened to not make that happen for you. So I had a job that was that paid me around $15,000 a year. And I got a job in Portland cutting extreme sports shows, which I knew nothing about, which paid infinitely more, but still not very much. I think I paid her like around $48,000, but the hours were insane. It was a really terrible shop to work at. We made sports shows for like ESPN, Fox Sports, a bunch of other places. The shop no longer exists anymore. We were getting paid late. We weren't being paid on time. The hours were insane. And that is not the fault of these bigger companies. They just hired a contractor company as an intermediary, and we were the ones who made that stuff. So, but I went on to actually work at MSNBC, and the weirdest thing happened. I was working in engineering, of all things, uploading videos from TV shows. And this is what happened. They said, I had a background in photography. I no longer wanted to be a videographer because I was in 2 shootouts. One on the job and one just going home. I saw a lot of horrible things happen because I was a photographer, and also because my neighborhood, I've seen a lot of dead bodies. I've seen people's homes destroyed. I've seen tragedy after tragedy, and it just broke me. So I didn't want to ever be a photographer ever again. But when I was at MSNBC, someone said, "Hey, you're a nerd. Our sales team accidentally sold 5 videos to Ford. In a video player for MSNBC, and they're like, can you think of something to do? We need 5 videos as soon as possible because the sales team sold this ad campaign for videos we don't have." And so I went to PAX West, and they said, we just need 5 videos. Find us 5 good stories. And they gave me a camera. It was like an old camcorder and a tripod. And I went to PAX, and I had never been to PAX, and these were my people. I have never been surrounded by 100,000 people who were like me. Mind blown. Got to see Acquisitions Incorporated. Mind blown again. And I didn't interview 5 people. I drew a map of the show floor for PAX, and I interviewed around 48 people in 3 days. I got there at 8 in the morning, walked in at 9. I went from booth to booth to booth and interviewed every game designer, cinematic director, every writer I could find. And I just drew a line, and I set up my appointments in the order I would physically be as I walked. So I made sure, hey, 15 minutes here, 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 and just ran and ran and ran and ran. And I got 45 to 48 interviews, and I start publishing them after they got their 5 really cool ones. Interviewing people about Mass Effect and all kinds of stuff. I got to meet some of my biggest heroes in video games. It was nuts. And 5 videos got published, and then I published a 6th video, and then a 7th video, and then an 8th, and then 9th, and then 10, and right about 15. And these videos were popping off, 100,000 plus views. This was the most popular original content on MSNBC.com. Not MSNBC cable, but MSNBC.com. And the head of tech came over. He's like, "How are you doing this?" And I admitted to him, like, I didn't shoot 5. I shot 45. And he's like, "Oh my God." And so they moved me out of the engineering department, and they made me a part of the tech team as a video game reporter at NBC. And then a year later, they made me the editor-in-chief for all video game coverage at NBC. This is a very long answer to your question. My advice is, you shoot your shot when you get the luck. I got lucky because they said, we need 5 videos that are tech and nerdy. And I went 1,000%. I knew that this was my one moment, and I might never get another moment like this in my life. And if I had not done that, they forced me to be on camera. I didn't like being on camera. NBC said that we can't keep publishing interviews without you being on camera as a reporter, giving these interviews context. If you don't do this, we will find someone else. So I started being on camera. I had a mohawk. I had to grow my hair back. Because I started appearing on camera, my wife started watching my videos on MSNBC, and I met her on social media, and she moved across the country for me, and we got married, and we have a home, and I got to cover D&D and be a founding member of D&D Beyond and interview Critical Role. And so if I had just done 5 videos about video games when they asked me to, if I'd not done 45, I would have never met my wife. I would not have this home. I would not have this life. I would not be here. There are moments in your life that are so much luck, and how much work you're willing to do to grab that luck. And even then, I could have easily failed 100 times on the path that way. I didn't win the lottery, but someone gave me a chance. And lots of people continued to give me chances. And so that's how I got here. So, and that's luck. It's just what you do with the luck. And again, Brennan Mulligan's great about talking about this topic. I think he was on the one where it's your last meal. Is that the official name of the YouTube channel? It's such a good show, by the way. And can we confirm that is the Kickstarter, by the way? The Vast and Verdant Jungle Kickstarter. Is that correct? I didn't see it at me, by the way, if I missed it. Sorry for the long rant, everyone, but that is my advice when it comes to luck. Oh, that is indeed it. Okay, so I know you can't post a link, but I am not necessarily endorsing. I'm going to watch it real quick. So I'm going to drop the link in chat. I'm not going to normally do this. This is not me endorsing the Kickstarter by any means. This is me just posting the Kickstarter that he's talking about. So again, I'm not promoting it. I have no previous experience with it, but I thought it'd be cool just to drop it in chat here if people are wondering what he's talking about. So just a heads up. We've got another super chat. I have a huge. Okay, this is coming from Cairo. Wow, we have 361 people in chat right now. Holy crap. Totally not nervous. That's a whole thing. Cool. Hope everyone's having a good time. Everyone hanging out. I appreciate all of you. And it's absolutely wild that we have 359. Let's get to 400. By the way, if you really want to help the chat, if you really want to help this community, gift subbing people is amazing. And also reaching out to the community and getting more community people in this chat before the shows is insanely helpful. I appreciate all of you. That's huge. This is a super chat from Kai-Ru988. $10 super chat. Wow. Thank you so much, dude. I have a huge passion for voice acting. I live in the Pacific Northwest, Spokane, Washington. Yeah, I'm from there. I have no idea where to start and really want to get my foot in the door. Any advice? I think I know there's some people who do like audiobooks and stuff. My advice is, I don't know if you've had voice training yet, if you had a voice acting mentor, find one in the industry. I'm not the best person to ask about this because I don't do voice work myself, though I've thought about doing it. It is exceptionally hard and very competitive. I remember I asked Matt about it once. Brutal. He said, don't. If you it's so dark. And I know this advice is always dark when I hear it. He's like, my advice to you if you want to get into voice acting is don't. And he's like, and if you still want to do it, then become a voice actor. It's interesting advice because it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to find a break. It's a very competitive field. More now than ever because so many people can do it from home. But, work on your voices. Work on a reel and reach out to other voice actors to try to get the best advice, because I'm not going to be the one. There are so many people who are out there doing the work and know that world in a way I can never understand. So it's not a great answer, but it's something maybe I will interview the cast of Critical Role about. If that's of interest to people, next time I get to talk to them, I'll reach out and we'll talk about this topic, because obviously it's something they know a wild amount about. So that's the answer. It's funny, I forgot to post this on social media. I am such a cadet today because I'm sick. I'm sharing it now. By the way, I don't know if it's helpful for me to put myself in the thumbnails. Do people find that more inviting, not inviting? Who can say, really? We got 372 people in here. I just always feel bad about using Critical Role's thumbnail. I'm always worried that I'm like bamboozling people into jumping into this chat sometimes, because there's limited amount of photos from Critical Role. So I think I'll start inserting myself into them. Actually, I would like to ask chat, what do you find the most inviting? What if I temporarily change the thumbnail right now? Is that risky? Are ads on? Dude, if ads are not on, I'm going to... You're scaring me by saying that. It says they're on. You just gave me a heart attack. You made me so scared. Why? What? But no, good question. Hearing all of that, what do you think people overestimate about breaking into D&D media, and what do they underestimate? Because you're such an inspiration to new DMs. Wow, I don't know about that. I haven't professionally Dungeon Mastered in a minute. And players, PS, should help chat. So if I'm talking about D&D media, it's an interesting topic because I'm having to deal with this for the third time. I've started this YouTube channel 3 times. What's my advice? I'm going to tell you what firmly the best advice I can give you, because I've seen this kill community after community, whether it's been like whether you're in the community of cosplayers, of video games, of D&D. Do not be mean. Be kind to each other. Assume positive intent. Be professional. And remember that the relationships that you form are professional relationships, not necessarily social relationships. Like if you're a bunch of creators, treat each other with kindness and respect that you would afford a coworker. I have seen people tear each other down to try to get viewership. I've seen people try to say terrible things about other content creators to try to tear them down to increase their chances of being hired by companies, to eliminate competition. And it's sick. And the thing is, these are not people who really care about this hobby, about tabletop, about whatever industry they're on. They're just trying to survive in an industry. These are the people who would gladly leave for another place if it made them more money. So my first advice is, in the D&D tabletop space or any tabletop space, make sure you love this. You have to love what you do. You have to care about what you do. And you try to cultivate people around you that are positive. Try to uplift other people as maybe you gain momentum. And find your own voice. And Jolly made a very good point about Critical Role. Like, we don't need another Critical Role. We have Critical Role. Critical Role has a very specific identity when it comes to live play shows, right? Dimension 20, very specific, different type of identity than Critical Role has. I am upset. I love Dropout. Dropout is my favorite thing. I love Dropout. Everything about Dropout is so good. So good, so good. Sam is a genius. And I love those shows. Legends of Evantris is another one. Dimension 20 is nothing like Legends of Evantris. Critical Role is nothing like Legends of Evantris or Dungeon Dudes. Ginny D has her own specific voice. Find your voice and find the people who appreciate that, and try not to zig and zag too much. Certainly some things that you do are going to do better than others, I love wild magic sorcery. I got like 4,000 views on my video about it. People didn't care. You know, it would have been really sad. Like, you know, I can't believe I have 362 people in my chat room right now talking about Critical Role. This didn't happen by accident. It happened because I've been covering critters. I've been interviewing critters for the last 9 years. I've been interviewing the Critical Role cast. I've been part of that community. It's easy to see where I'm at right now and not see the tremendous struggle to get this far. I have video channels that didn't do well. I had a channel called Invader Boom. I covered video games. I covered movie topics and stuff like that. I used to review movies, and that stuff didn't gel with the audience that followed me. And I lost so much audience when I left NBC because I could have easily kept on covering video games. Instead, I decided to cover D&D. I lost 95% of my audience when I did that, but it's something I cared about and that I was passionate about, and I felt I could make a difference. People weren't interviewing D&D creators yet, or creators in the community, and so that's why I did that. So find your identity, find something you absolutely love that will cause you not to burn out, and do the work. And networking is really important. I suck at networking. I'm not a social human being. I'm very I'm just not a social animal. I'm very introverted. And so all that stuff is really hard, man. I go to conventions. A lot of people know this. I just hide in my hotel room sometimes. You know, I'm just that way. I don't like partying that much. You know, when I got laid off, one too many people were like handing me booze and stuff, and I was like, no, I'm an old man. I can't. If there was a full night's sleep in a can, I would buy that. I love me some melatonin. That is my drug of choice. So long answer, I guess. I apologize. Hey, Mark Stewart. I think. Oh yeah, this is why I just. I think it was just mentioned that D&D, when you play a character, the spine a voice different to your normal one. Oh, to find one. Yeah, absolutely. Finding a different voice is really fun sometimes in D&D, and it informs the character for sure. Did I miss any other super chats? I went on a long rant. I apologize. Oh, you don't get confused by the thumbnail? Yeah, you can see that this is Todd Kenrick's YouTube channel. I know, but... Oh yeah, let me do this test. Let me know what you think. Hopefully this doesn't break the live stream. Makes me nervous. Change. Ugh. I don't like changing anything live. All right, we're gonna do this. I hate it. What's different between these two? Oh, it's me. Okay. I'm going to hit save, everybody. I hate this. Can you change the thumbnail in the middle? Yeah. All right, tell me what you think about this thumbnail. Is this stupid? Please let me know. If it's a no, you let me know. Oh man, my YouTube just locked up. Can everyone still see me? I'm so nervous. So nervous right now. Todd Kenrick. No, I'm from Bob Sinclair. Thank you so much. 007. What's the most unhinged character concept you've wanted to play but never actually have? Ooh. I want to play a little goblin. Oh, wow. Do people like the thumbnail? Do you think that's better? Let me know about the thumbnail. Maybe we'll do a vote. Oh, you usually go straight to the channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm trying to blend myself into their thumbnails. It's stupid. I know. But that way you know this is not official Critical Role. Oh, me like mimicking them? Oh, I need to put my glasses on? Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's better. Well, okay. Well, good to know. Always be branding. While we're in the pre-show, can we talk about the recap since there's lots of people here? Yeah, how many people we got in chat? We got 370 people. I'm happy to do another recap. I mean, we did one off the top. I got a couple of super chats. I want to make sure I got those. And by the way, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Hey man, the coolest thing is not everyone has money. If you really want to promote the channel, share on social media. These chats, share on Reddit or wherever. Like get more people in here so we can continue to have the conversation. That's so much bigger than doing super chats and everything. Super chats are huge, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. Super chats will pay for gear and trips and all kinds of crap. You have no idea. So those are huge. I'm not being dismissive. I'm saying if you don't have money, and I really think I have. I'm almost 100% sure I got a line on some work that will be steady soon. So I want to be upfront about that. I think I'm pretty optimistic right now. Certainly got a lot of life stuff going on, but don't we all? We'll get to the recap in a second per request if everyone's cool with that. So people really like the thumbnail. Oh man, what my goblin? Okay, one of my favorite names, and I've used this character before, is Rend. Rend is actually a robot, murder bot. Kind of an amalgamation of different magical items all combined. I also have a favorite character of mine who is human and kind of a Goliath, but his name is Vordred. So I kind of want to transition one of those into a goblin. Like Vordred the Goblin, I think would be fun. Vordred just sounds like a name from the 80s. Names are hard for me. Dude, if you want to see me spiral, names. The stress I have felt coming up with names you cannot imagine. I just can't handle it. I just can't. One of my favorite unhinged characters is on. I'm kind of expressing. There's a game called Idle Champions Presents. It's a D&D. It's a D&D game from Codename Entertainment. My character Avron's in there, and I kept on challenging them with more preposterous skins. One of them is a swarm of cranium rats dressed as a human. They're literally rats in an outfit holding up a human mask. One of them is 5 auto gnomes all combined like Voltron, or some Transformer characters who combined as well, or Voltron together. That's one of my favorite ones. Those are my unhinged characters. I like the idea of playing a swarm. That's unhinged. But goblins, I think goblins are a lot of fun, and I'd like to see a good goblin hero story. I'm really excited for Styx. Styx is a hard-ass game, by the way. It takes a while to load your character when you die, but I love the character of Styx in the Styx video game series. So funny. Such good writing. Mechanically, some issues here and there in the previous games for sure. Not as smooth as something like Dishonored or Thief Dark Project, but in that vein. So good, I gotta tell you. So hopefully we'll get a new monitor for this camera, and I can just talk directly to people, directly into the camera. I think that will kind of improve everyone's experience rather than me looking down. I feel like looking eye to eye is super important. Talking directly. Oh yeah, about the pre-show. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. For the recap, I can't watch the whole episode from last suggestion. How about some future stream thumbnails showing you interviewing actual critters? I would like to do that as well. Swarm of Flumps would be funny. I just like a little guy. I love the idea of the goblin who is also a werewolf. I also have a deep affection for werebats. This is the weird reason I actually enjoy gremlins too, because they have the brainy gremlin and they have the bat gremlin. Otherwise, if you want to see the most unhinged, should not have been made movie in the world, it's Gremlins 2. I'm not joking. And it's a parody of Donald Trump the entire time. I cannot explain how weird this movie is. If you really want the short version, Keel and Peele did the Gremlins 2 pitch, and there is nothing in that sketch and that pitch that is not in Gremlins 2. It's all real. That is the thing. That's one of my favorite videos I've ever seen. So check out that. Let's go ahead and drop down. Let's go ahead. So it's we're 45 minutes away. Yeah, the second one's. I'm not gonna say the second one's good, dude. Christopher Lee is in it, man. It's insane. The movie should never have been made. I don't know why I'm getting so upset with all of you. All right, let's see how fast we can break this down for everybody who's new. Hey, everybody. Welcome, everybody who's new to the chat. We got 362 people. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Also, maybe give somebody a sub as well if you're new here. I really appreciate you. We're trying to kind of build a big interview show before these Critical Role shows, and these people have been insanely kind to me, especially during the holidays. Holy crap. But this is like this is like a convention, man. We got 362 people. I really appreciate all you. So here's the breakdown real fast. So in Critical Role Campaign 4, Episode 11, Make Merry, we briefly check in to the Seekers. Now we see the Seekers, Thaisha, Vaelus, Julien, Aranessa. They're traveling east to the dwarven ancestral lands of Kavros. They visit this village that is on this road, and they mention that the dwarves created these roads. They have their own roads under the mountain pass, but they created these roads so other armies could get to Dalmakyar. And so this is why these exist, for other armies to help the dwarves in this constant battle. They go to these dwarven statues dedicated to the goddess of the forge, primordial earth, and Thaisha becomes very frustrated by the fact that the villagers have a desire to have the Shaper gods return despite everything they went through and the suffering that the Shaper gods had caused. Thaisha finds this really, really dark, really upsetting, but ultimately the group just decides to ignore it and move on and not well, they judge them, but they're not interfering with them. And it's kind of hurtful to see these people who have sacrificed so much to take down these Shaper gods and see people still worshiping them. So that was the cold open for the Seekers, and that may be where we begin our adventure. Then the Schemers. That was the beginning, yeah. Then we jumped over to actually the Schemers, and they're in Dalmakyar, and they're discussing, hey, who can we get to spy with us? They talk about the fact that Azune is talking about the fact that, the Halandil, the Sons of Morning, God, what a creepy title for a group of people. They mentioned this, I think it's the Sons of Morning for Wikander's family, are basically enlisting of all Azune's soldiers into their collective, and they're being absorbed, and we're seeing this corruption coming from the Tachonis family and also the Wikanders. I mean, not from the Halavars, working in conjunction with the Candescent Creed. There's something really creepy happening here, and the corruption in the city is growing and growing and growing and growing. They do realize, Azune realizes, when they're at this bar, that Thiazi, first off, never broke his glyph. So not only is the glyph that should have teleported Thiazi Fang away fake, is not magical. The whole purpose of giving him this thing is to get him out of there so he would not get hung. Not only is it fake, he never broke it. Which either means Thiazi Fang purposely did not break the token, the glyph, because maybe he knew it wasn't magic and it was useless. Or maybe he physically couldn't do it. Or, those are the only options. And even if he did break it, it wasn't magical. Did Thiazi want to go to the afterlife? I don't think so. So there's 2 steps in the attempt to save Thiazi Fang that failed. That's what happened from the last episode, which is insane. Thiazi, not only did he have a glyph that didn't work, he didn't even break it. That's 2 steps in the process of trying to save him that never happened. Could have been hold person, could have been a suggestion, could have been a couple spells, or he wanted to go into the afterlife. He was buying a lot of, acquiring a lot of magical items that had to do with the afterlife. So that is probably the biggest drop of holy shit what is going on that we got last episode. And it was absolutely wild. Then we moved over to now. Oh, also there's a bunch of BS. So Azune is also telling everybody, "Hey, I'm going to do something. I mean, it's going to be really stupid." And everyone got very afraid he may actually die. Azune, I'm really concerned about, especially when he starts talking the way he is about something he's going to do that may be revolutionary, but he's not telling the rest of the cast what he's doing. So then we move over to the soldiers table, which is why we see this weird edit that we saw before. And they're in the dungeon. Tayor uses detect magic and realizes that Sid is using similar magic. And then Tayor realizes that Sid is actively using divine sense and makes that face. The same face his dad would use when he used divine sense. The same face that he himself, as Tayor, uses when he uses divine sense. And they realize all of these statues, all of these petrified individuals that have been dressed up in finery and everything else has been to capture paladins at the moment that they are using their divine sense. And there is, on some of this paperwork that they find, a saying that triggers that divine sense to alert them when there are undead nearby. Massive. Divine sense can detect 3 things: undead, fiends, and fae. My assumption is this detection system, there is also a saying for maybe detecting fae, and also a system for detecting fiends. It seems like they're very focused on the undead. The Octus's family, the Tachonis family, very associated with the underworlds, very associated with the dead. Why do they need this? And we know the membrane between the real world. Why does this keep changing? Is my audio okay, by the way? So weird. And so I should have broke my stride, man. 1 second. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm struggling through a cold. Ow. So, why does this group of necromancers and the Tachonis family need statues to warn them about undead? Are they really afraid of undead? Is it because the membrane between the dead and the living is thinning and bursting at the seams? Brennan keeps bringing this up. He keeps bringing up that this barrier between the living and the dead is thinning and thinning and thinning. I think we're going to have an apocalyptic event where the dead pour out into the world of Ahriman. And these statues will be critical to the Tachonis family keeping their grounds safe, their palaces safe. Or they're afraid of fae and also fiends. Maybe fae and fiends will get together and thwart the Tachonis family. I don't think so, because the Tachonis family clearly has ties to Wikander's family, the Hollowars. So, man. Hey, man, we're 30 minutes out, so we're going to make it. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for struggling through this. Hopefully the cough doesn't sound too bad when I turn away. So, they realize they're trying to use this early detection system. Tayor levels up. Kattigan and Wolfric also level up. Really cool moment where they're throwing darts and gets better and better at it. Takes the sharpshooter feat. Fantastic. And then they disguise themselves as the Tachonis guards, and they get the heck out of town, out of Dodge. And then they decide that they're all going to go back to Dalmakyar. At first, it seemed like only Kattigan was going to go, but he's going to go. And so Wikander kind of talks about his life. He's disgusted with the city's fake celebrations. And he decides he must be part of the return to Dalmakyar to enact real change. And so everyone decides to go as well. On top of this, Thimble apologizes to Wick for her previous hostility, which is really fantastic. And we have really good role playing moments between we also had really great role playing of moments previously with Tyranny and also Robbie Daymond's character Kattigan, giving her that wasn't in this episode, by the way. I don't believe so. I'm getting a little confused suddenly. But the bone handle on the knife they got to use, which is not a vestige of divergence. He was just saying that as an example of how this knife and this magical item will grow as time goes on. And so that's kind of the rundown. That's the rundown, everybody. And I love that. I use magical items all the time that will grow with the character as they level up. That's been in D&D for a minute. And it's fun because, you know what? It kind of sucks sometimes. Sometimes you get attached to a sword or a piece of armor. And I just want to increase in its +1 or +2 or +3. I enjoy that stuff. So, now, is this world tied to Exandria? No, it's not. False news. False news. Fake titles or whatever. Yeah. It's silly. We got a bunch of super chats I missed because I was going on a rant. I apologize, everyone. If I don't see your ats, I'm sorry. I'm looking at super chats right now. We now have limited time. Wow. How many? We got 386 people. We can make it to 400. We can do this, right? What do you think about the houses controlling magic? Which house is your favorite? Which player character is your favorite? Which NPC is your fave? I love Skinner. I love Redcaps. I'm gonna put my hat in you. I love Skinner, so that's one thing. I'm very curious with man. Those Tachonis roll hard, man. Do I hate them? Yes, but I do think they're cool. Which house is your favorite? I can't say. Which player character is your favorite? I don't know I can play favorites on this one. I think Wikander's really fun as a character, and especially the work that Sam has done for the Candescent Creed and creating an entire religion is wild. I think it's fantastic. I think it's so inventive and cool that Sam Riegel has put this much work in to the world. I don't have a house. If the Fae were a house, that's my house. Every time Brennan does anything with the Fae, I lean in to the show. Get your own house, Fae. The bunnies, everything having to do with the Fae, the glade. Love the gnome. Love the gnomes. The gnome with the 3 daughters was magical and wonderful. Absolutely love it. I don't have a favorite player character right now. Bolaire is fun. I love the cattiness with Bolaire and Murray. It's delicious. What fun. I'm loving Julien because I know that arc is gonna be so good. Laura Bailey killing it all the time. Just a cool character. Thimble. I can't play favorites. Tyranny's got some absolute one-liners that just end me all the time. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like this cast is just going full cylinder right now on the show. So I don't have a favorite one. There are times where I could have said that I think about previous campaigns. Really love from campaign 1, Percy's arc for sure. God, Grog was so fun. I think Laura Bailey from previous campaigns. I'm a trickery domain cleric person, and she killed it. She almost did a character identical to one I played. 397 people. We're getting to 400. This is insane. If you're new to the channel, this is super welcoming chat. Very giving, by the way. Very kind. Very supportive of everybody here. And they are some of the biggest lore experts you're going to find on the internets. Yeah, that's why I'm liking Mighty 9. All of the stuff with Laura Bailey, just perfection. Just, yeah. So, not a great definitive answer for you, certainly. But it is one. Let's see. We're moving on. Bob Sinclair. It sounds like you sometimes question your reach, but from the outside, your voice has genuinely important to a lot of players and creators, including me. Thank you. Sorry for the hard questions. No, ask me hard questions. It's always good. Give me prompts. I love being interviewed on my own show. That helps me so much. 403 people, dude. I cannot believe we got this many people. Thank you for showing up. This is our cool hangout, just chatting Critical Role space before the show begins. I do this because I've been covering Critical Roles for 9 years now, since 2017. At Emerald City Comic Con, I interviewed Matthew Mercer, and then I started interviewing the cast and their Kickstarters and their shows. I was there at the season finale for Campaign 1. I was just in Burbank interviewing all of them about Darrington Press and about Mighty Nine and all of that stuff. So yeah, you may have seen me at conventions interviewing cosplayers who are fans of Critical Role and all of it. I've been doing this for a minute, everybody. I'm a founding member of D&D Beyond, and I'm formerly of Wizards of the Coast doing my own thing. And that's who I am. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you joining our chat. The coolest thing you can ever do is let other people know about this chat and hang out. We're trying to kind of grow a community here. And 407 is wild, and we are clearly accomplishing that goal. And that's because of all of you. Nothing to do with me. I appreciate you think I have great reach and all that stuff. But I think it's also important to be realistic and not you should never be too self-congratulatory. So much of one's life is based off luck. So I appreciate you for saying that. That was very kind words about my voice in this community and stuff like that. I just have to always be ever thankful for that as long as that lasts. So be kind. Next super chat, Mark Stewart. Hal has a larger information network than first thought. Yeah, Hal seems very connected. I agree. I wonder how connected Hal truly is. It'd be interesting. I don't think he's like the mastermind behind Theazi, but it could be. Emerald City Comic Con. Yeah, I need to get my journalist badge tonight. I need to do that. Are chats typically toxic? I hope not. Yeah, there's no room for being toxic and mean. I do not. We have so much of that in life already. I'm so hey KJ Coates. I am also super excited for this episode. You know, we got a different cast. We're going to start answering the big questions in the world of Ahriman in Campaign 4. I think we're going to get some major lore drops, more than combat. We're getting like big lore drops, and I think it's going to get nuts. Hey, Talk Henrik, what kind of positions or companies are you trying to apply for during your job search? I got a couple of beats on work, so they are all tabletop adjacent. I don't want to leave this industry, and I want to keep this YouTube channel going, so even if I score myself a job, I'm still going to do this YouTube channel, still going to do what I do. Ziggy the Bard says, so should you. I still think my idea for Todd being a PC that is basically Cameron Crowe from Almost, from Cameron Crowe from Almost Famous, a journalist who's actually in the game. I think playing a journalist, I think for me, playing a journalist in that live show of Critical Role would be somewhat depressing for me. I want to play a really fun character. I don't want to play myself, though hilarious that would be in super meta. Wizard WD, what is your favorite con to attend? Ooh. Shout out to Luke Gygax. Gary Con's really fun. And Luke has always been always kind to me. Your PAX Unplugged is so nice and kind. I love PAX Unplugged. Super fun con. Gen Con's pretty cool. It's a little overwhelming for me at times. And Emerald City Comic Con can be fun. I'm gonna try to get to Emerald City Comic Con. Yeah, that's my answer. I have a wife coming. ECECCCC. It's the worst con to have to write out.
All the C's.
I'm streaming. You can't see yourself. Yeah, it's on delay. But you did it.
I'm a vampire.
I'm a vampire. You're like, wait. What's happening right now? Why can't I see? Why can't I see myself? What weird sorcery is this? They go, 403 people. I guess the thumbnail choice was the right one to do, everybody. Let's do the vote, though. Hey, who likes this thumbnail and who liked the old thumbnail? Let's mix it up. And we got, let's go ahead. Oh, man. Sorry. Let's do another, start another goal. Let's do another super chat goal for the last few minutes. Oh, it only let me do 15 minutes. Okay. Just for fun. We don't have to hit everybody. You just telling other people about this live stream is enough. Trust me. You love the thumbnail. That's cool. Let's do the vote thing. Where's my vote button? Start a Q&A. Start a poll. All right, the vote has begun. $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Oh wow. Thank you, Mario Step 4772. A wild Megan. What is your favorite con to attend? I did answer that. Okay, good. I have not delved deep into the Circle of the Shepherd Druid, but I will do so. Ooh, which shaper am I most? I'm very... Okay, so... If you're talking about the shaper gods, it is absolutely what we call Chekhov's gun. So Chekhov's gun is a reference, I believe, to the playwright Chekhov. If you see a gun in the first act, it will go off by the third. Why introduce a gun? So, in a narrative, hopefully I'm not spoiling anything for anyone, if you introduce the fact there was a trickery god, a god of trickery, a shaper god of trickery, and you say the halflings and their masks, including Bolaire, killed that god, and they are dead, I call BS. You can say I killed the god of war, the god of strife, the god of death, the god of anything. When you tell me you killed the god of trickery, I don't believe you. I know Loki. I know lots about trickster gods in the history of our mythology here in the world, the real world. I don't buy it. Trickery is in the title. I don't believe the trickery domain god is dead. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You got me. But I don't think I'm wrong. We got 410 people in chat. That is huge. Thank you so much, everybody. Bolaire is Chekhov's gun. So that's how I feel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, thank you so much for everyone giving super chats. Everyone giving people subs to this channel who are new. That's so welcoming and kind. If you're new, shout out right now. And where are you from? All the new people in chat right now, there has to be. We have 411 people. It's wild. Let us know where you're talking from. We'd love getting a sense of the international audience that we've kind of got of critters. And let yourselves get known. Mark Stewart, thank you. I think the God of Trickery is one of the other masks. Compelling. I can't wait till we see the other masks. What Bolaire is playing both sides, 100% a Taliesin move. I agree. For sure. We got someone from Spokane, Washington. We got someone from Bosnia, Edmonton. I love this. Pennsylvania. Is there a rule about marrying sentient masks? It's a very specific law to pass. Van Island, Pacific Northwest. We got Melbourne, Auckland, Kentucky. Wow. Whoa, Calgary, Arizona, Brazil. I'm missing some people. Oslo, Norway. Wow, Ottawa, Wheelings, Brit Critter. Yeah, Sao Paulo, Oklahoma, Vancouver. I think this is very good for us to see these kind of shout outs of like where everyone's from. It's really inspiring. Detroit, Vancouver, Nottingham, UK, Nova Scotia. You must be tired of Robin Hood stuff. Spokane, Dalmakir. Shout out to Dalmakir. Man, it's been hard. It's been hard on the people in Dalmakir. So this is hard times. Atlanta. It's harder. New York. Previously, Seattle, Wisconsin. Land of cheese and honey. See, this is so inspiring. Moscow, Dallas, Fort Worth. I can't keep on naming these. It just shows you everyone's 87% thumbnail with me in it. Great. I think that way visually people know that I am currently streaming. I really appreciate all of you. That's pretty huge. 416 people in chat. 427 people in chat right now. I don't even know how to process that. That's so many people. I appreciate every one of you. I can't believe we got there. I think the vote is 87%. 118 people say thumbnail with me in it. 88%. Tokyo agrees. Wow. Massachusetts. San Jose. So we got critters from all over the world, everybody. Hanging out with me, my silly face, while we ramp up to Critical Role, and we are 15 minutes out. That is huge. We are 7 away from Super Chat. We can hit it. We can not hit it. Who cares? I mean, I care, but I don't like. We don't need to shake everybody for coins. 426 people right now in chat. That's huge. I appreciate every single one of you. Are you excited for this upcoming episode? I think big lore drops. I'm waiting for the membrane between the living and the dead to burst, and some nasty shit is going to happen with the Tachonis family. They are sus. I'm excited for more creepy stuff from Wakander's Halavar family. Clearly, they're doing some nasty things with the Tachonis family. I'm scared for the city of Dalmakyar. By the time those heroes get back, by the time the soldiers return, I think it's going to be a very different city. And you're going to feel that time have shifted and changed for the city itself. And I think we're going to start getting into that. But mostly for the Seekers, can't wait for these lore drops. We're going to find out things about gods, about planes, about fae, about death. I am here for it. And I think we're going to get more into druidic magic in the past. That's why I think it's going to happen. 88% for the votes, 138 votes. I think we found, that's the winner. What do you think, Megan?
That's the winner.
That's the winner. Okay. We're ending the poll.
What are we talking about?
Who knows what we're talking about? Who can say? All right. I'll do the thumbnails that way from now on. I'll try to blend myself even more into the cast. It'll be silly, but it'll be fun. That way you know what you're watching. The reason I'm actually put that up for chat, because I don't want anyone to be like clicking on this video and thinking that they're watching an official Critical Role pre-show. I don't want anyone to feel that way. Certainly, it'd be great to have some people as guests, and I'm looking into that. But yeah, I want to make sure I'm making sure that you're getting what's on the tin. 431 people. People are freaking ready to go for the show right now, man. That's huge. Yeah, I think this is fun. I think this is gonna be exciting. Yeah, we'll mix it up. We'll make it fun with the thumbnails. That's a new good pastime for me, for sure. Even if I'm out of town, I'm gonna try to pre-record something for chat so people can hang out in this chat. That would be interesting. I could do a YouTube premiere. That's like 2 hours of like lore deep dives and kind of like theory crafting. Because I'm worried, like one day I'm going to have a sick day. Like today I'm sick. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sean Bronzel. So I'll do some kind of Adobe Premiere in my absence. So everyone's got chat and can hang out regardless, and have mods handle everything. I hope that sounds good. I just don't want to take that this many people getting to hang out and talk away from them. What do you think the purpose of the statues are? Speaking of the Veil of Death, I think it's an early warning system for the Tachonis family. Or the Tachonis family may not only be using those statues for themselves, they may be giving those statues of paladins who can detect undead to other people. Yeah, don't forget to rest after the stream, for sure. Thank you. I think they might also be giving those statues to allies. So not only is the Tachonis family, which is very associated with the undead, they may also possibly be associating or giving protections to people who have allied themselves with their family. So they might be handing these statues out to allies because they know that membrane between the living and the dead is getting thin. And that's my assumption. I think the Tachonis family has a long game, a very long game, and not altruistic intentions. So I appreciate everybody here in chat. I just want to say before we start jumping into Critical Role, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being so kind, so positive, for not being negative. Not that you would have been, by the way. I'm putting my own stuff on other people because I've seen some negativity out there in other spaces. This is so wonderful to jump into chats like this and see such kind people. Yeah, I think it's the zombie apocalypse may happen. Some kind of undead. Hopefully not ghouls. Ghouls are the worst. Yeah, I think the veil is going to start ripping, maybe slowly, or maybe, can you imagine if the veil just popped open and it's just undead everywhere? So, yeah, the statue thing creeps the crap out of me. I agree with you as well. We are 12 minutes out. Yeah, the Tachonis family has been also digging up dungeons and also graves, haven't they? Yeah. Nowadays, chats are usually... This chat's been amazing, man. No one's been toxic in this chat at all. Everyone's been super, super, super cool. So I really appreciate everybody here. It's been great. Yeah, I think Sid could be coming up right now. I feel like when we do deal with Sid, I think Sid could be a guest star. I think that could be a celebrity guest star for the show. Yeah, I 100% think that could be a possibility. Today's table is the Seekers. Critters are amazing people, 100%. I gotta tell you, I was at Gen Con. I just got laid off. Only a couple of weeks went by. This wonderful human being dressed as Caliph in cosplay, stopped me right before I was leaving with my gear to tell me that what happened sucked, and that I was a good person, that I made good content. It just kind of gassed me up, and freaking made me cry, man. It was I thought I was just trying to head to the bathroom, and this person was just so nice, and it just broke me, man. It just absolutely broke me. Radical kindness. I think I've heard that phrase before. That's what I felt like. Mark Stewart, House Royce and Davinos, even if decimated, could hold a key up to upcoming events. I agree. I also wonder about the Davinos family buying too much, or they can shoot. Well, they don't even exist. You're right. House Royce and Davinos are gone. Yeah, I don't know. I still think they have a part to play. I agree. Oh, look, the goal. We hit the goal. Yeah, look at that. We did it, everybody. 403 people still hanging out and chatting. 10 minutes away. We're going to do it. Don't read this. I have been challenged. That's pretty funny. Yeah. This is going to be a cool episode, y'all. We're at 10 minutes out, man. We're going to make it happen. Yeah, we hit the goal. Thank you so much, everybody. It's so kind. I love this group. All right, so Tuesday, we're all playing D&D, right? All 400 of us? Oh, my God. Charles 2450 with a $20 super chat. Busy night at work, so here's my late tax. You're not being taxed for lateness. Bob Sinclair. Sean Brunzel. I wonder if the masks trapped the god of trickery. sucked it into its essence, locked it into the masks, and perhaps dividing the god and thus neutralizing it. That is an amazing theory. What if the masks had no personality? What if the masks had zero personality until the halflings wore them and then absorbed the many faces of the god of trickery into themselves, and Bolaire is part, an aspect, a personality of the god of trickery? That is the latest fresh hot take. That is smart. Sean Bronzel coming in hot with the super chat with some spicy theorizing. Way better than I got. I think that's a winner. Holy crap. Yeah, chat's responding too. Everyone, let's play. 394 people. That's a lot of pizza. Can you imagine? I gotta make up a system where everyone can vote for what a character does. That would be pretty funny. I appreciate all 394 of you. What a wild time, man. Thank you also for dealing with the struggle and the cough. I having a cold and everything like that. This has been a great time and a nice distraction. Even though I'm having to talk a lot, I probably won't have a voice tomorrow. That is a very strong theory for sure. We are 8 minutes out. We're keeping it together for 8 minutes. Keeping it together. Thank you so much. Look at all the hearts, man. I get my 4 seconds moment of glory. That's awesome. Yeah, I know. 4 seconds. You're like at the table for 3 hours, and you're like, I made something happen. I got one action. Hey, man. It's hard to find a group. Kenrick, you will be DMing for 400 of us, right? Yeah, totally, man. How many aspects do you think the god of trickery has? Exactly the number of the masks. I think the masks are exactly the number of aspects that the god of trickery has. I think that is a nasty, nasty bit of conjecture. I think it's very accurate. I love it. I love the idea of Taliesin's character being an aspect of the god of trickery. Chef's kiss. So much better than anything I've come up with. Praise him. Praise him with great praise. That was such a cool idea. Long live Spurt. Absolutely. For those that know. Catch you all later going to the mainstream. Prep. Go ahead. Yeah. Why y'all hanging out with me, man? 400 shepherd druids. That's too many druids. I will pay Pally. I attack the rogue. Perfect. Dude, this action economy is going to be insane with 400 people. Yeah, Vampire Dark Ages is a lot easier than D&D, and the action economy for mostly for Vampire is a lot easier to handle large groups. Same thing. Sorry for the tangent. Star Wars, the D6 system was very easy. I ran a group of 15 people all at once, and that was nothing to sneeze at, but very easy mechanically to make it. So, Todd, you are we. Thank you. That's very kind. You're dead. I win spot. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being so kind. Hey, not everyone can do a super chat. Not everyone can get gift subs. We got 379 people here still. 383. But just sharing and telling people about this chat and growing this community, that's the coolest thing you can do. Like, subscribe, all that helps. But most people don't watch these VODs. This is kind of a live, off-the-cuff experience that we're kind of doing. So keep on doing it. Imagine fear with 400 players, for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for liking the content. I really appreciate that. It was a fun stream. I'm so glad I did. Sometimes I'm feeling under the weather. I feel a little bit sick. I'm like, I don't know if I can do one today. And then I do it, and then I'm like, thank God I did that. Good lesson about life. Oh, man, we're 5 minutes out, everybody. I may put up the old... Whoa, thank you so much. Matt Boozley sent 10 Todd Kenrick gift sub memberships thingy-majiggers. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that for all the people. Gifting people subs is like the coolest thing. Because it helps them, helps me. Helps everybody, everyone. Yeah, I will try to feel better soon. I'm gonna throw up the sign as people meander, but I appreciate all you. Have a great night. Be kind to each other. And thank you so much for all the support all over the years. That's huge. Hope to see you at cons. Always say hi. Have a fantastic day, and I'm sure there's going to be some screams today as we watch the show. So that's going to be fun. All right. I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out, dealing with my cough. All right. See ya, fam. Have a great night.